ka-DDS. Bali, samahan niyo akong panoodin itong bagong pahayag ng isa nating ka-DDS.
I'd like to ask the Department of Justice, ASEC T, some questions, Mr. Chairman. First, Mr. Chairman, dito po sa ating mga batas, doon sa citizenship, pagka ikaw ay banyaga at gusto mo maging Filipino, 39, tama po ba, ASEC T, na kinakailangan Filipino citizen ka lang?
Your Honor, under our laws, a foreigner who wants to become Filipino must, one of the requirements for this foreigner is to take an oath to the Philippines. And part of the language of that oath is a renunciation of his other citizenship.
And it is correct, ASEC T, thank you for that you only maintain one citizenship, which is the Filipino citizenship.
Your Honor, that really depends on the other nationality of this foreigner.
Now,
Because
I'd like to correct you, ASEC T.
Yes,
In
sir.
Republic Act 9139, you have to renounce your foreign citizenship and just be totally Filipino.
That's correct, Your Honor. From our perspective.
Yes, from our perspective, you have to be just one citizenship. And there have been Supreme Court cases based on this, na meron po mga ibang banyaga, nagpaka-Pilipino, tapos babalik sa pagkabanyaga, yan po ay tinatanggal natin sa pagka-citizenship. Tama po ba?
Tama po yun, Your Honor.
Ngayon po, pagka ako naman po ay isang Pilipino, nagtrabaho ako sa Estados Unidos, nag-naturalize ako doon, meron naman po tayong batas. Kanina po pinag-uusapan yan, yung RA 9225, na pagbalik ko dito, mag-allegiance ulit ako sa Pilipinas at magkakaroon po ako ng dual citizenship. Tama po ba?
Your Honor, RA 9225 presupposes that there was naturalization in another country by a natural-born Filipino.
Yes. So, ang ginagawa natin, ibinabalik natin yung kanyang pagka-Pilipino ulit. At gagawa na naman siya ng panunumpa na siya po ay isang Pilipino. Tama po ba?
Tama po yun for those who were naturalized prior to the effectivity of 9225.
Okay. Sinasabi ko po to, ASEC T, kasi on the two separate cases, banyaga ka, bumalik ka rin, gusto mong maging Pilipino, magbibigay ka ng allegiance. Yun ang isang sample, Pilipino ka, yung isang batas po natin, Pilipino ka, pumunta ka ng ibang bansa, umuwi ka dito, magbibigay ka ng allegiance. Sa dalawa pang kasong to, kailangan talagang sumusumpa ang isang banyaga, pabalik sa Pilipinas, at yung pong Pilipino na gustong magbalik sa kanyang dating citizenship. Tama po ba?
Pareho pong sumusumpa, Your Honor. Ngunit magkaiba po ang lingwahe doon sa sumpa. Doon sa sumpa ng banyaga na gusto maging Pilipino, maliwanag po doon sa sumpa na binirenounce niya ang kanyang pagkabanyaga. Doon sa sumpa ng dating Pilipino na gusto maging Pilipino ulit, wala pong pag-renounce ng kanyang foreign citizenship.
Agree po ako. Pero sa pareho pong panunumpa, nagbibigay siya sa allegiance na Pilipinas.
Tama po yun, Your Honor.
Apo. So dito po sa dalawang kasong ito, kaya ko binanggit to, sa kadahilanan na kanina pa pinag-uusapan yung dual citizenship at dual allegiance. But in both cases on citizenship by a foreigner to become a Filipino or a former natural-born Filipino and to come back to become a Filipino, they both have to give an oath of allegiance. From the perspective of the Philippines, they have given their last allegiance to the Republic of the Philippines. Isn't that correct, ASEC T?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Ngayon po, kanina po pinag-uusapan, sinasabi legal, pwede Pilipino. Ang tanong ko po sa inyo, ASEC T, napag-usapan na po ba ang dual allegiance at dual citizenship sa Korte Suprema ng ating bansa? Hindi pa ho, diba?
From my recollection, Your Honor, hindi pa napag-uusapan.
Pero napag-usapan na po ang dual allegiance. Doon po sa batas na binanggit ko, particular pa, and I will go more particularly, doon po sa ating batas sa Local Government Code. yung pong Local Government Code of 1991 na kung saan sinasabi niya, technically, pag nag-iba ka ng citizenship, nag-iba ka ng allegiance, hindi pwede.
Tama po yun, Your Honor. For election purposes, may definition po tayo ng dual allegiance.
So, ang existing lang po natin sa dual allegiance debate would be the case of the Local Government Code wherein marami pa nga akong kandidato, gumamit sila ng passport nila. In fact, if I may cite the case, yung pong kay Makiling sa Lanao, na ang sinabi, yun ay pagpapakita na hindi niya totally ni-renounce ang kanyang American citizenship. Tama po ba?
Kailangan ko po ma-review yung kaso yun, Your Honor. Pasensya na po. Pero tama po kayo na pagdating sa paksa ng local elections, meron tayong batas at jurisprudence on dual allegiance.
If I may quote the particular decision, and this is by Justice Carpio, it is undisputed that Ahmad had to comply with the two requirements of allegiance and renunciation. However, Arnado's use of his USA passport after the execution of his affidavit of renunciation constituted a restriction of his renunciation and led to his failure to comply with the requirement of renunciation at the time he filed his certificate of candidacy, so on and so forth. So, kaya ko to binabanggit po kasi yung pong sinasabi ninyo, sa DOJ na ho papasok, sabi ninyo, pag Filipino, pag dual citizen, natural born, Filipino citizen na. That is only an opinion of the DOJ. There is no decision yet in the Supreme Court as regards citizenship, dual citizenship, and dual allegiance. Is that not correct, Asekti?
There are some decisions from the Supreme Court on dual citizenship. Among these decisions are the same decisions that were discussed during the past few meetings, such as those decisions that talked about the U.S. passport. But when it goes specifically to dual allegiance, Your Honor, I have no recollection. I might have to look into more cases, no, but for presently, wala po akong maisip.
Okay, so dual allegiance, there is none. Pag sabi niyo po sa dual citizenship, may decision na. I will go particularly on mass media. Is there already a decision on dual citizenship in mass media?
There is none, Your Honor.
There is none. So therefore, Your Honor, sabi po ng DOJ and all the other lawyers, of equal footing. Ang ibig kong sabihin, yung sinasabing iba, pwede. Ang sinasabi ng iba, hindi pwede. Hindi pa ito na-desisyonan ng ating Korte Suprema. Ngayon, ang tanong ko po, pag sinabi po namin sa trangkisang to, bawal ang dual citizen, yung po ba ay magiging batas?
Sa prangkisa lang po, Your Honor? Or gagawa kayo ng general law talaga for na bawal?
That we will say, in this franchise, because it's mass media, we will not allow dual citizenship. Would that cause, and all other broadcast media, we will not allow dual citizenship. Would that be a law?
So Your Honor, you will create a general statute that will come up with
be just for one particular company.
Your Honor, top of my head right now, I would think that is within Congress's power to provide for qualifications and restrictions to the grant of franchises.
Salamat po. Binanggit ko po ito kasi Asekti, kasi po dun sa GMA 7 franchise, nilagay po namin dun, sa programming ninyo, dapat 10% ilagay ninyo yung mga programs ng gobyerno. Pero sinabi namin sa kanila, and that is part of what you're saying, that it should not be class legislation, that it should include all the other companies. But it is in their particular franchise. In the franchise of ABS-CBN, previous to this, we do not have it yet. But as we have committed, we can put it in the franchise of ABS-CBN. So what we're saying is that if we say dual citizenships are not allowed, then that would be the law, correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, gusto ko lang pong itanong lang, Asekti, kasi nagkaroon po kayo ng recognition ng Filipino. How would you appreciate it if I present a document, for example, and I will not go to Mr. Gaby Lopez, let's say a Filipino-Chinese, no? Nagkaroon po ako ng document to say that this person is not only Filipino but is also Chinese. And now we are deciding on the Committee on Franchise because this does not only concern Mr. Gaby Lopez. This will be a continuing concern for us. Ano po dapat naming appreciation? Do we now say he is Filipino, he will be allowed, when we know for a fact that he is a dual citizen?
Your Honor, it's Congress's prerogative whether or not to grant a franchise to any
I'm asking you as a part of the Department of Justice and as a professor of law.
Yes, sir.
And you are now, if you can please give us guidance, because this will be a continuing problem for us. Do we now allow dual citizens to have ownership, particularly in mass media where it is 100% Filipino?
Your Honor, from a legal perspective, from an interpretation of provisions of the Constitution and law that are relevant to nationalization of particular activities, Your Honor, it appears that there's no distinction. No distinction is made between purely Filipino citizens and dual citizens when it comes to participation in these activities.
No, well, I agree with you, Asik. You're interpreting now the law. Ang tanong ko po ay ganito. Kung kamo po ay na-advisean nyo sa Franchise Committee, sa Good Government Committee, at nakita po natin maraming prangkisa, at alam natin marami doon ay dual citizen, ano pong guidance ang bibigay nyo sa amin? And I'm not just talking of Filipino-Americans. You have Filipino-Chinese, you have Filipino-Japanese. How do we now treat this? When the spirit of the Constitution is supposed to be, sinasabi niya, Pilipino talaga. Wala din naman siya sinabing dual eh. Filipino citizens.
Your Honor, when it comes to the grant of franchise, nationality of the applicant is only one criteria. There are many other criteria that Congress can look into, such as the financial capacity of the applicant, such as the track record, the need for this particular entity to be granted a franchise. So I believe, yes, Your Honor.
Pakisagot naman po ng maayos yung
Sige.
kasi simple lamang po ASEC yung tanungan sa inyo.
Sige.
Kung kami po ay bibigyan niyo ng advice.
Yes, Your Honor.
Kung tayo-tayo lang naman ang nagkakarinigan dito, ano bang advice ang may bibigay niyo sa amin?
Sige, Your Honor.
Sa usapin ng citizenship na yan, ASEC. Simple lang po, ASEC.
Your Honor, basta Pilipino, mag-qualify siya sa pagiging Pilipino, whether or not he is purely Filipino or Filipino by virtue of dual citizenship, sapat na yun. Combine na with other factors, kung mayroong mga nagtabla, kung may nagtabla na Pilipino lang at dual citizen, siguro maganda na ipasok doon yung mga ibang criteria para ma-determine nyo kung kanino kayo papanig.
Okay, so thank you for that. So ang sinasabi ng DOJ, well, I think that's just a personal question.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Na kung sa Pilipino, so kung Filipino-Chinese, kung Filipino-American, Filipino-Japanese, sa Filipino pwede. Well, thank you for that opinion. Mr. Chairman, just like to go to Mr. Gaby Lopez. Mabilis lang po to. Mr. Gaby Lopez, narinig ko po, marami na tinanong, no, nagbabayad kayo ng taxes sa Pilipinas, bumoboto kayo sa Pilipinas at isang beses lang kayo bumoto ng 2016 sa Amerika. Ito lang po, Mr. Lopez, nagtataka ko. Meron po ba kayong Philippine driver's license?
Opo, Your Honor.
Po nakuha tong Philippine driver's license, Mr. Lopez?
So, I'm sorry, Your Honor.
What year, Mr. Gaby Lopez, were you able to avail of Philippine driver's license?
Yes, Your Honor.
What year, Mr. Lopez, would that be?
Hindi ko na maalala. Matagal ko na hindi ginagamit ang driver's license ko kaya hindi ko maalala.
Even before, Mr. Lopez, you got your Philippine passport, ibig sabihin, bata pa ho kayo, mayroon na po kayong driver's license?
Siguro po.
Yung sa, Pilipinas?
Opo, a Philippine driver's license.
Ito po, Mr. Lopez, gusto ko lang pong tanungin, no, kasi nagtataka ako, Nakakuha po kayo ng driver's license, pagkatapos po nakapag-register kayo as a voter. Pero yung recognition po nakuha ninyo noong 2001. Kasi kung magre-register po ako sa COMELEC, I would need to show that I'm a Filipino. And then if you register po sa driver's license, pagka American ang pinakita niyo po na birth certificate, di ba ho, ang binibigay nila usually is the international driver's license. Meaning to say, meron po sana naging process na nagkaroon ng recognition. Hindi ko po naintindihan, Mr. Lopez. It's just parang confusion on my part at medyo hindi ko po naintindihan yung naging prosesong yun.
I would have to review, Your Honor. I really don't recall what the process was and how I got the driver's license.
Before you continue your line of questioning, Congressman Vice Chairman Defensor, your time has already lapsed, so please wind up.
Sige po. So yung voters registration niyo po, meron po kayong voters ID. Alam niyo po kung paano yun nakuha?
Siguro po, I would have to review it. I would have to review, Your Honor.
Kasi po alam niyo, Mr. Lopez, because you are Gaby Lopez, it's easy for you to get a license, people know you. But I'm thinking, there are many Filipino Americans. And before they get a driver's license, they go through a process. Before they register in the COMELEC, they go through a process. Pero parang dito ho, pagka kumuha kayong driver's license, bibigyan kayo kaagad. Pag nag-register kayo, pwede rin po kaagad. So, it's either we have a problem with our government agencies that, they just gave it out, o meron ho tayong nami-miss na process doon sa pagkakuha na po nitong mga lisensya at voters ID.
Well, I will review, Your Honor, and promise to submit memorandum on the process that I went through to get a driver's license and a voter's ID.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez. Isang taon po, nung high school po kayo sa Ateneo, pumasok po pa kayo sa PMT o yung Preparatory Military Training?
Hindi ko maalala po kung...
Noong panahon po natin, Honorable Alvarado, ROTC, noong panahon ni Mr. Gaby Lopez, it was the PMT. This was previous to martial law.
Ang naalala ko, ROTC eh.
Did you attend ROTC, Mr. Lopez?
Parang hindi po.
And kaya po kayo hindi nag-ROTC because you were an American citizen or you are an American citizen?
No, I don't think that was the reason why, Your Honor.
Yes. Well, Mr. Lopez, if you can look into those records, because the PMT, ROTC, and CMT are required services in effect conscription by a Filipino.
Yes, Your Honor. I will review it.
Yes, Mr. Lopez, because I saw your letter to the Bureau of Immigration and you mentioned you have not given service to the United States. I would like to know if you have fulfilled your services as a Filipino with our military training as required in the Philippines, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Your Honor.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Lopez. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman.
So yun na nga no, kung meron kayong reaction sa video na napanood nyo, comment nyo lang sa baba ng video. DDS, stay safe, stay at home. We heal as one.